Jeremiah Smith, man. I mean, look, we talk a lot about the transactions around college football, right? Not necessarily what happens during the games, right? There's a lot of that stuff that goes on, but we had to talk about this performance yesterday. Generational talent, that word is thrown around a lot these days, way too much. But what we're looking at here with Jeremiah Smith is without a doubt a generational talent. And as you see in the graphic, I have Andre Johnson there, right? So we saw in the broadcast yesterday, he said he looks up to Andre Johnson, who had a very similar performance in the Rose Bowl back in 2001, 2002. I guess it was 2002, early January there.
Yeah, this is a comp. I saw Daniel Jeremiah, former NFL scout, make this comp. We've been making this comp since watching Jeremiah in high school. So you look at Jeremiah Smith and Andre Johnson, both kids from Andre Johnson's older than me. They're both high school recruits from Miami, Florida. Both were 5-star players, extremely highly recruited. Andre was in the early rival days, but he was a 5-star. I think he might have one of the first 5-stars. That was when Rivals was just starting back in the late 90s. Jeremiah Smith, of course, the number one player in the country. Both track guys, when you see their bodies, these are both big, physical guys. They're not tall and skinny like a Randy Moss. They are big and strong, but they are also very accomplished on the track. Jeremiah Smith won the 110 hurdles here in Florida and the 400 hurdles, 14.34 in the 110 hurdles, 54.68 in the 400. Andre Johnson, as big as he won the 100 meters and the 60-meter titles in the old Big East, so college, 10.59 in the 100 meters, just a total speedster. And I think when you watch both these guys and the way they carry themselves, having watched Jeremiah since high school, having seen Andre Johnson in high school and been around him at Miami, Florida, he is such a serious, meticulous, hardworking guy. And I think with Jeremiah Smith, yes, you see the talent. You see everything he does just from a speed standpoint. But it is that the maturity, both physical and mental, that I think has allowed him to succeed as a freshman and will allow him to succeed as he continues into his career to the NFL. And potentially, we're comparing him to Hall of Fame players, potentially all the way to Canton.
And you see Jeremiah Smith, these are his junior highlights in high school, and there's really nothing that he can't do. Yards after the catch, running after the catch, making guys miss in the open field, one-handed grabs. I mean, everything that you look for at the wide receiver position he can do. So, I mean, just throwing it up to him and letting him go make a play on it, high pointing the ball, he's got it all.
Yeah, so we're watching Smith here. Pete, throw up Andre Johnson's high school highlights so we could compare, because, this was, again, early in the era where you did not have the attention that,
as you can tell by the video, very, very long ago.
But look at that speed. Again, this is a 100-meter champion in the Big East. So that's college. That's the kind of track speed you're talking about with Andre Johnson. And, there's a lot of Julio Jones comparisons, which I could see. But I think Jeremiah and Andre are both a little more polished than Julio. Julio is really a horse, right? He was just such a physical freak. Also had the same kind of demeanor as these guys, and then eventually developed the polish. But, the comparison to Andre to me is the one. One thing I'll say is different is you see here Andre in high school just completely dominating. He actually redshirted. Show you how much the game has changed. He redshirted as a true freshman. Miami had Santana Moss, who become a great receiver in the NFL. Reggie Wayne, borderline Hall of Famer himself. So Andre sat behind those guys and really didn't blow up till his redshirt sophomore year when he became a star. That's that picture you see down there holding the national championship trophy. Jeremiah Smith, at the same age, is arguably, and I would say to me, he is the best receiver in college football. So if you are making the comparison and you want to talk in Jeremiah Smith's favor, he played earlier and had much success much earlier. Was that a product of the times being different? That's something to do with it. But I mean, can you imagine a guy like this coming in and redshirting? It's an unbelievable thought that this guy couldn't play as a freshman.
Let's remind the viewers who's throwing Andre Johnson those balls. Roscoe Parrish, playing quarterback there, played wide receiver at Miami and played for the Buffalo Bills for a while in the NFL.
Yeah, led the NFL in punt returns for Miami High. So Miami High hasn't had as much success lately at the football, but Andre was absolutely sensational, and this was a incredible recruiting victory for Ohio State. You saw Hayes Fawcett tweet that he had a graphic made for Jeremiah Smith to go to Miami and follow in Andre Johnson's footsteps. Ultimately decided to go with Brian Hartline and Ohio State. And that recruiting win by Brian Hartline could be the difference between an extremely disappointing season for Ohio State and a national championship, which I think if they were the betting favorite, if you're just setting lines right now, I think Ohio State, with the way they play the last 2 games, would be the betting favorite. And the best player on that team as a true freshman is Jeremiah Smith.